And I think there's going to be a lot of discussion about Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk. Who should the 49ers prioritize? Brandon Aiyuk is the guy who everyone is like, this is the year. Like wide receiver one, top 10 receiver in the league. You saw how he finished last year. He ended up being a 1,000-yard receiver. What are your expectations for Brandon Aiyuk? Because when I watch him in the preseason, it's still, even though he got a couple of targets, and we're talking about a couple possessions that he played in, but I get the sense that Kyle is just going to run his offense. Like he's going to run his offense. He's going to run his scheme. And because of all the weapons the 49ers have, this is not the Atlanta Falcons, where it's like, all right, I got to prioritize Julio Jones every time I have an opportunity to, and he's just going to eat and he's going to get 200 targets. All right. They're going to do a little different where, hey, whoever, either the hot hand or if there's a certain ability for McCaffrey to do some run after catch. And what I wrote on paper was, does McCaffrey, I said, is the offense what limits Brandon Aiyuk? Will Brandon Aiyuk have to do the heavy lifting for a big year? And what I mean by that is, what we saw in this last preseason game. He caught a 5-yard pass and then took it 40 yards down the sideline. Is he going to have to continue to be productive because of the run after catch? Or are we going to see just this influx in his volume of passes that are targeted towards him? And then if he does, is he going to hit some of these numbers that we're going to pull up in a minute? But what are your thoughts right now? We'll start with Brandon Aiyuk, then we'll get to Deebo Samuel.
First off, we all know why Brandon Aiyuk holds value. He's an X receiver. He's going to he's going to play on the outside the entire game, and he's going to give you a presence outside. He primarily has to beat, one-on-one coverage, and that would be, and obviously Kyle puts you in a lot of situations to be successful. The thing I like mostly is that, one, it's an equal opportunity offense. Two, he's your best outside target. It's undeniable and unquestioned, right? I also wanted to bring up something, bro. People talk about Aiyuk, right? Listen, I don't think Aiyuk has to have an amazing season to get a deal elsewhere if he was to leave. And I say that because he's got better numbers through his first 2 seasons than Stephon Diggs. No one seems to bring that up. You know what I mean? Obviously, Diggs went to Buffalo, right?
Right.
You know that Diggs had he had 2 1,000-yard seasons in his first 3 years in Minnesota. He didn't break 1,000 yards.
Wow.
He didn't get over 1,000 yards. Aiyuk's had a better start to his career in the NFL than Stephon Diggs, and he is nowhere near as high volume, right? And I bring that up because it's being in an equal opportunity offense. You would expect, somebody's numbers to go off the charts one year. Like 2 years ago, it was Deebo when he got the All-Pro. He went crazy. And then, Kittle had a couple of crazy years in the offense, right? I think that Aiyuk is going to have a good year. And listen, he's going to get 1,000 yards, get anywhere from 6 to 10 touchdowns. I don't really think it matters who plays quarterback either. Simply because he understands the offense to a T. He knows where to sit it down. He knows when he has one-on-one that he has to win. He can high point the ball. He can get physical. He's not scared of contact. So I like Aiyuk to have a great year in the offense. Barring injury. You know this more than anyone. Talent is distributed all over the NFL. Health is not. It's you don't know what the future has to hold or what could nick a guy up and put them in a situation that's bad. Now, on the side where we talk about Deebo, obviously when you get an All-Pro, the levels, the standard changes, right? People judge you a little bit differently, and if you don't match up to that year to year, people are going to talk. We've seen Deebo. Deebo looks like he's lost weight and he's in shape. He looks like the dynamic guy that we took out of South Carolina that we stole in the draft that should not have been drafted that low, right? We know that. The great thing about Deebo is his versatility. We know that he can get reps in the backfield. We know that he can run routes. We know that if need be, he can take it over the top. That's nothing people forget, right? Deebo he does have that next level explosiveness when he needs it. He don't get caught from behind. He run away from a lot of people. There's a lot of highlights of Deebo running away from people. So I'm high on Aiyuk. I'm looking forward to see the situation with Kittle. Have we gotten an update on his health? Because again, that Brock Purdy played extremely well with Kittle when Purdy was the quarterback.
Especially in the red zone. It sounds like they are. He has some kind of injury. Again, to the extent I'm not sure.
Was a groin. Was it a groin injury or?
He's out. He was out this week, and they're
Right.
giving him off until like Monday. So Monday they expect him to be full go. But sometimes with injuries like that, there are things that can linger. So obviously George Kittle, he kind of battled through some injuries, but he's tough, man. So if he can go, I believe he'll be out there. He'll be on the field. We're gonna start to dive into some of these underdog numbers and we're starting with Brandon Aiyuk. All right, so we're pulling up Brandon Aiyuk's numbers here, and we saw the season he had last year. He surpassed definitely the touchdowns. He surpassed the yards. I'm not sure he surpassed the 1.5 100-yard games. I think he only had 100-yard game, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
Right? But are there any of these lines that you like more than the other?
I've already bet his 7. I've already bet because I'm a gambler. Obviously, with underdog, it's a little bit different. It's a contest where you pick higher or lower or over under, right? It's a little different. Right. Listen, I like Aiyuk to get close to 1,000 yards.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna say it again. This guy's first 2 years in the NFL has been better than Stephon Diggs. The guy that everybody loves so much because he got a quarterback with a rocket arm. And like I said, I'm going to compare it to that because on tape, you only see what you with a receiver. When you look at the tape, does the guy get open? Yes. Is he going to get the ball every time? No. Aiyuk open even when he doesn't get the ball. Respectfully, 775 I think is a steal. The 100-yard games, that's a coin flip, right? You could get 100 yards and 2 catches with a busted coverage. So I would stay away from that. I would err more on the side of consistency. Do they have like a total catches?
They do not for him. No, they don't.
See, like that's what I'd be looking for. It'd probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 70, 75 if you can get it on like a.
That's crazy. I was thinking 76. Like when you said it, I was thinking 76. But yeah,
on like a book, that's what you're going to be looking for. So if I get like a total on like his receptions anywhere under 80, I would do it. The 4.5 touchdowns I like too. Obviously, everybody expects some level of regression, right? And remember, the regression is not just going to come from the offense. Everybody's expecting it from the offense. Our defense was so good last year, it has to regress. There's no way around it. I just want to make that clear for people who are so excited about the offense. Listen, the defense last year allowed our offense to be that good. Now, we have a lot of the same pieces, but you can't. It's not a guarantee that you replicate that defensive performance year to year to where your defense is so good it gives your offense 5-6 extra chances a game.
Right. Or just better situations, more opportunities around the red zone, right? 49ers, I want to say against the Washington Commanders, 3 times in that game, they took the ball away from the Commanders and had the ball in like plus territory. Now, each of those 3 times, they only came away with a field goal. So that's less than ideal. And somehow they still scored a bunch of points.
Right.
But more opportunities for these guys. And you look at this touchdown total for Brandon Aiyuk, 4.5. We saw 2 opportunities in just this last preseason game in 2 drives. One, he got tackled at the 1-yard line. And I'm like, look, and the 49ers ended up not scoring on that drive. You can't let that linebacker tackle you. I know you're just kind of breaking out. I know you're trying to get going, but you got to score. Like the great receivers in the league, they figure out how to get that in the box. And then the next opportunity he had, Brock Purdy threw a fade to him. Now the ball sailed out of bounds, but you just see what they're thinking. We are going to try to get this guy the ball around the end zone. And if we're not, then he's going to get in the box. So I actually kind of like his 4.5 receiving touchdown total. I think that's something that's surpassed. We saw him get a decent amount of touchdowns last year. I want to say, 7 or 8 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And he scored a decent amount of touchdowns, whether it was his rookie year, last year. As long as he's healthy, which he's the guy that you can kind of really count on throughout the year, I expect him to hit the higher on that touchdown number.